Character Journal Interactive is a 6-volume CD-ROM series designed to help you launch your students on a dynamic, journal-based exploration into their character. Each volume focuses on one of the 6 pillars of character: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Students work their way through a variety of stimulating activities for examining the quality and content of their character, and for thinking about other and perhaps even better ways of being. Each CD begins with a self-evaluation entitled "Who Am I?", which introduces the main topic of that volume. The purpose of this fun exercise is to get students to begin looking critically at their own character and to help them discover some areas where they may have room for improvement. After completing the self-evaluation, the student is taken to the home page, where he or she can go directly to any one of the 8 sections of the program. These 8 sections engage students in various activities such as watching inspiring video documentaries and provocative teen discussions, reading and thinking about controversial issues, grappling with challenging hypothetical situations, and writing in their on-screen journals. The first section of each program is labeled C. This section contains short, inspiring video documentaries about individual teenagers who exemplify the power of good character in the real world. These teens represent a diversity of races and backgrounds. For example, here are some excerpts from the story of a teenage boy who pulled himself out of a street gang and changed schools in order to turn his life around.
In South Central, there's always a constant battle between the neighborhoods. There's always a struggle for turf. I guess I was influenced by gangs as little as maybe 4th grade. I knew that the gangs were around, and when your cousins are in gangs, when your friends are in gangs, you tend to also join the gang to feel part of something, part of a group. Well, like 7th, 8th, I didn't really care about school. Like, I wasn't learning nothing, because all I kept thinking about was what I was going to do at lunch, or who I was sitting with, or when's the next party. So I guess I figured that if I changed school, I could sort of get an education but still be from the gang.
Arturo knew that if he wanted to do well in school, he needed to get away from his friends. So he decided to attend a different high school, an hour and a half away from his home.
I remember being there and being lonely and not really having friends. People were scared of me, so nobody wanted to talk to me. And so I had nothing to do but to do my work. That sort of helped me out. My first year of AP US History, my teacher, he would give us the work and he would tell us to do it, but yet he would never tell us how he wanted it done. And I was always like getting Fs on his essays. So one day I went and I talked to my advisor, Mikkel.
And he came here, he was like, I'm having trouble, I don't know if I can do this, can you show me how to study? So he read 2 pages of his AP history book, and he didn't retain any of the information. I asked him some questions, and we went back and we read it line by line. It turns out he didn't know every 5th word, because it was written at this very high college-level text. And so I said, all right, sit down and look up every word you don't know. And he sat there. It took him 2.5 hours to get through 2 pages. I asked him some questions. He'd absorbed the information. I said, do that with every page. And there was a test like a week later, and there was 2 chapters of 60 pages. And he spent the next 2 weeks doing exactly that, looking up hundreds of words and doing all this stuff, and he got an A on the test.
After a while, when I started doing good in school and I started moving up to the higher classes, I started getting a new group of friends who were they were different from the gang members, and at first it was hard for me to relate to them. They were interested in joining Key Club or joining academic decathlon. That was their passion, while I was interested in being part of a gang and gaining turf. When you're in a gang, you kind of have advisors. My advisor was Shady, and he was required to keep track of me and what I was doing. And if I had decided to just move out, he would know. He would know where my family lives, where I would be. And so there was no way that I could get out without me having any trouble, because he would know, and he would know where to find me. I went and I talked to Shady, and I had to show him my report card, and he looked at me and he said, that's very good. He said, don't worry about anything. You just worry about doing good in school. And so we came to the agreement where I did not have to worry about clearing my neighborhood in Hawthorne High. I did not have to worry about other gang members trying to track me down or trying to get me back into the gang. That's how I finally got out.
Altogether, there are 9 documentaries in the 6 volumes of the series. Each video documentary is followed by several questions that require serious thinking and reflection and help the student process what he or she has just seen. Students with reading difficulties may click on the speaker icon to have the questions read aloud.
Arturo stood up against one of the most intimidating forms of peer pressure imaginable, a youth gang. Why do you think he did this? What risks was he taking?
We have designed this series so that much of the learning takes place when students write in their on-screen journals. 6 of the 8 main sections of the CD end with challenging questions that present ethical dilemmas or ask the students to analyze issues, formulate positions, and offer justifications, all in writing. These written responses are collected in the journal and can be printed out at any time. The Here section of the CD contains revealing, candid discussions about personal issues with groups of high school students from around the U.S.
I think I'm probably partially a good citizen. And that sounds sort of strange, but I think all of us have had sort of conflicting motivations for things. You know, like I'm in Key Club, and I've done a lot of stuff with that. And I'll do projects.
What's Key Club?
It's a service organization here at our school, and we go out and do different projects, like some with Harvest Hope, with a lot of different groups. And I'll go out and do these things, and afterwards I'll be really glad I did them, you know, and be like, yeah, well, that made me feel really good. But I can't say that I didn't do them sort of initially because it looks good on your college transcript, you know?
I don't think that's bad, though, because I know, like we're talking about at this point in time, we need these things, because colleges look at them and they, like, you know, they're impressed by them. So, yeah, initially we joined these clubs and stuff because we wanted our transcripts. But when we start doing it, and you do it, like if you volunteer at a hospital or for the Harvest Hope or whatever, and you see the look and reaction on these people's faces once you give them the food or the help or whatever, and that's initiative for you to go back and do it the next time, even if you're like not a member of that club.
My favorite community service is when we work with Children's Hospital Center. We went last Saturday. It was just like they didn't want us to leave, especially the ones that can't come out of their rooms because they can't be around germs or stuff like that. When you come in that room and it's just you and them and like all of those different things you do with them, it's a good feeling inside. You want to do it. It's like this is not for anybody else. This is for them. This is so they will feel good about themselves.
And that's where I have the problem with whether or not I'm a good citizen, is if your initial motivation is for yourself and not for, you know, your community or your school, are you still a good citizen?
I want to answer that because when you started talking about it, it really made me think about, you know, some of the reasons I've done it. I think you joined Key Club and you have to do community service. And you can't deny that now that you've done it, you don't mind going back. You kind of enjoy going back. And I'll admit, my initial reasons for getting into Harvest Hope were so it would look good on paper.
Sure.
So I would look good enough on paper. And now, you know, I don't even keep track of hours anymore. Regardless of your starting conditions, I think if you do the right thing and you begin to do it because, then, yeah, you are being a good citizen.
The No section provides current and historical profiles of individuals whose strength of character made a positive difference in the world. People like Sojourner Truth, Mohandas Gandhi, and Mark Twain. The Think section has essays designed to rouse students into thinking critically about controversial topics. It allows students to evaluate where they stand on important issues that shape the world, issues like affirmative action and sexual harassment. Clicking on the test icon gives students an opportunity to grapple with challenging hypothetical situations. In this segment, the kids in the video have been asked what they would do if they had a summer job in a music store and their supervisor offered them a bribe to help him steal some CD players.
How many in here, just raise your hands here, how many would, theoretically, if there was absolutely no way of getting caught on this one, how many would do exactly what the guy said and put the boxes in that car? You also gave me earlier how you want to be remembered. How's it fit with how you want to be remembered?
Respected, stealing things don't go
Busted.
together.
Busted.
See, that's the obstacle, man.
Oh, wait.
That's one of those hurdles you gotta jump over.
Now, defend yourself. Tell me. Okay, Mike, let's go back over to you. Okay?
All right.
You were the guy that told us that, no, remember you wanted honesty, you wanted integrity, you wanted respect, you wanted all these things.
All right.
So what are you thinking now, Mike?
I'm not really sure. Like, also, like, you know, there's also different definitions to people of good character, but like, as far as, yeah, that is scheming, you know, but at the same time, you know, you gotta think about it in the long run. Like, that's a job that you're gonna be doing for like a little while. That's not like one of those big dreams or like ambitious, you know, hardworking, you know, like, I don't know. Again.
You're stumbling.
Yeah.
Why are you stumbling?
Cause like, that action contradicts like what I said earlier, but I don't know.
What's going on in your head right now?
Trying to think of a way to. Yeah.
Gets you to think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Spontaneous decisions often reveal a lot about you, because that was just on the spot, and immediately I was like, listen, I'd take the money. So I feel like I have to look in the mirror, look a little deeper, and not find myself, but make it so that I won't want to take that money just so quickly. Be like, hey, I'm not gonna get caught. Why not? But
The ACT section is designed to inspire students with follow-up activities they can carry out after leaving the CD. These extension activities in the to-do and to-read sections point the students to videos, books, and internet searches. The Write section takes students directly to their journals, where all their written responses have been saved. Here, students can reread and change any of their previous answers, or simply write down new thoughts they may wish to express. There is no limit to what students can write in their journals. Since all student work is saved on the computer, students do not have to complete an entire volume in one sitting. They may leave the program at any point and return to complete it later. Character Journal Interactive is easy to use and flexible. You can use it with individual students or with groups to build literacy and critical thinking skills and to promote the development of good character in your students. To order Character Journal Interactive now, please contact Livewire Media at the address and phone number you see on the screen.